What is up, Ada Nation? Welcome to Dapp Central. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, I'm excited to break some news surrounding the Cardano and Ergo ecosystems finally coming together. Now, this is through the use and the official launch of the Rosen bridge, which was on the testnet for a couple of months, but it's now live on the main net. So for anybody who holds Ergo and wants to move that over into Cardano, you can now go ahead and do that. And for anybody in Cardano that holds ADA that wants to move that over into the Ergo ecosystem, you can now go ahead and also do that as well. Now, those are just two assets which are going to be supported as a part of the Rosen bridge. Not only will additional assets such as the Sigma USD stablecoin on Ergo also be supported, we're also going to see additional assets coming in from Cardano, and then even branching out further than that, we're also going to see additional networks being included as a part of the Rosen bridge. So imagine potentially bridging out from Ergo into Ethereum, or potentially even from Cardano into Ethereum through the use of the Rosen bridge. So an interesting piece of news here coming out for today. And I want to take the time to break down every aspect of this particular protocol. So first things first, what we're going to do is just review exactly how the Rosen bridge works. And then I want to jump into the actual platform to give you guys a quick look around. And then I want to highlight some specific exchanges or some specific DEXes, I should say, that are currently supporting some of the assets being traded or being given out from the Rosen bridge. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. The very first thing I want to talk to you guys about is just the Rosen core, how that works, the watchers, their cold storage, and their rewards system. As always, if you guys do enjoy updates like these, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. It really does make a difference. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, consider subscribing for more. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding Cardano or the Rosen bridge, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Jumping straight on in. What we have is going to be the official Rosen bridge website, which is available at rosen.tech. Now, this is going to break down everything that we need to know, especially from a beginner's viewpoint, as to how this bridge actually works and how it's going to be secured. So if I scroll down just a little bit, they break down some of the features here and some of the highlights of the Rosen bridge itself. So first things first, it's going to offer multi-layer protection. It's going to be incentivized in the sense that watchers and the Rosen guards will also be rewarded for their efforts and for correctly reporting data. It's going to be fully open source, which means that anybody from within the Cardano or Ergo community can actually verify all of the underlying code being utilized to run the Rosen bridge. Now, this also will be auditable in the sense that transactions that take place on either Cardano or Ergo will be publicly available, and that they will be easily auditable in the event that there is some sort of traceability or some sort of review that needs to take place. Now, they also provide or tout safety for their users, as well as scalability and direct verification, as well as reduced risk. So scrolling down, let's touch on the actual architecture. As you guys can see here, this is a little bit complex, but I want to go ahead and just try to simplify this here for you guys here as a part of today's video. So what we currently have is going to be the guard set, which sits in the middle, and they're going to be protecting the Rosen core on either side here of the networks that we're switching to and from, which in this example, we've got Cardano and Bitcoin. You're going to have watchers. Now, the watchers are going to be native to a particular network. So for example, you're going to have a watcher here watching all the transactions occurring on Cardano and then reporting that back over to the Rosen core team. And then you're also going to have watchers on the Bitcoin network also watching transactions that take place there and then reporting that over to Ergo as well. Now, in the grand scheme of things, all three parties that you see here will be rewarded, and that'll be done through the RSN or the Rosen Native Governance Token. Moving over, we do have all of the assets utilized on the Rosen bridge being stored in cold storage, basically making them inaccessible in the event that there is some sort of hack or malicious event that takes place. Now, last but not least, there is the actual funds, right, which is there at the top right hand corner. And as the transactions are made on the Rosen bridge, there will be a small amount of a fee that'll be charged to actually utilize the platform. That will actually go into the funds, which can then be redistributed back over to the guards, watchers, or potentially go towards additional developments in the near future. So if we scroll down, we've got a little bit of information here. Number one is going to be the guard set, which is that green icon right there in the middle. Now, guards are going to be a federated group of entities managing the Rosen core. Their authority over the Rosen bridge is restricted through a multi-sig contract and wallets. What this basically means is that no single guard can actually make a decision. There's going to have to be an agreement of multiple guards, right? Or the majority of the guards before something can take place or before something is confirmed. Moving along, each guard has a reasonable amount of funds locked as collateral and will actually lose their funds if they were to act incorrectly or to act maliciously. Again, this is very similar to what we just saw with Meld and their staking feature, which actually allows for slashing. Ethereum also follows a very similar set of rules where nodes who act maliciously can actually have their stake removed or taken away. So there is somewhat of a guardrail to make sure that these guards act appropriately, as they are, again, going to be managing the Rosen core. Now, next we've got the watchers. So I mentioned this earlier. Watchers can be had on any of the chains that the Rosen bridge is going to be extending to. So with their expansion over into Cardano, we're also going to have watchers within the Cardano ecosystem, as well as watchers within Ergo, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other network that they choose to expand over into. Now, watchers are entities tasked with monitoring a given blockchain and reporting bridge-related events over on Ergo. Each blockchain has its own dedicated set of watchers working together as a cross-chain oracle for Rosen. Watchers will be rewarded for settled transfers, but may face penalties for fraud. Anyone can participate as a watcher once allocating enough of the RSN or the Rosen token and the Ergo token. Now, the RSN token, as I mentioned, is a utility token for the platform, and this is actually going to be what is required by the watchers, right, in terms of collateral as well as Ergo, and they provide this through staking. Now, this allows for them to require reporting permits, which again is what they need to provide back over to Ergo in order to receive rewards. Now, guards also need to lock Rosen as collateral, and funds will be emitted to the guards, right, which are involved, as well as the watchers, after any successful bridge transfers take place. However, funds can and will be slashed, right, in the event that there is malicious behavior. When the Rosen emissions have ended, all bridge fees will be collected in the Rosen token, and holders of RSN will have special fee benefits for the project. So it sounds like right now, some of the fees will actually be collected in ADA as well as Ergo, but moving forward, once the emissions have ended, all bridge fees will be collected in the RSN token. Moving down, we have rewards. So guards are going to be responsible for overseeing the fee structure to create sufficient incentive for all entities. On each successful bridge transfer, the bridge fee will be collected by guards, and a near equivalent amount of Rosen will be emitted to the guard set and involved watchers. Guards will add these fees to the Rosen liquidity pools. In terms of funds, these are going to be managed through a multi-sig fund controlled by the guard set. Rosen's active and passive revenue, like bridge fees, listing fees, portions of token sale revenues, and other futuristic incomes will be collected through this fund. Using this fund, Rosen can engage in providing liquidity and bridging into other additional chains. Very lastly, we have the cold storage. So bridges are going to be an appealing target for hackers, which has definitely been proven true within the crypto space due to the substantial funds which they can accumulate. Again, if you're trading or moving funds over from Cardano over into Ergo, those Cardano assets will be locked on the Cardano network, therefore making that somewhat of a hotspot for anybody looking to take advantage of the assets. Now, Rosen employs multi-sig cold wallets, reducing hackers' incentives in the event of a bug or hack, where only a fraction of the funds will actually be at risk. So a very similar model or very similar method here that we see also being implemented with Chainport. So now that we better understand Rosen, again, here's a brief recap. I want to just quickly highlight some of the things you can actually do, and then let's actually jump into the bridge itself in order to check it out. So number one, you can transfer from chain X to Ergo, in this case from Cardano to Ergo. Number two, you can transfer from Ergo to chain X or from Ergo to Cardano. And then number three, you can transfer Ergo tokens to Cardano. Number four, you can transfer tokens from chain X or Cardano to Ergo. And then very lastly, imagine being able to transfer tokens from chain X to chain Y through Ergo, but not necessarily involving the Ergo network. So this is where you can potentially transfer from Cardano to Ethereum without necessarily having to settle directly on Ergo itself. You're just utilizing the Ergo bridge in order, or the Rosen bridge in order to do that. Moving over into this next piece here, this is the announcement that came out earlier today stating that the Rosen Lite bridge or the Rosen Lite application is now live. In terms of the connection between Cardano and Ergo, we've got the supported following assets. Number one is going to be ADA. Number two is going to be Ergo. Number three is going to be the Rosen token. And then number four, number five are going to be Sigma USD and Sigma RSV, which are going to be representations of stable coins on the Ergo network. So pretty solid choice of assets that we can begin to bridge. And I mentioned this earlier, you can definitely expect for this to grow as time passes on and as more chains are added. If I jump over into the actual platform now, let's take a look. I've already given the platform the ability to connect to my Nami wallet, but I've already selected the source chain, which is the chain I want to move from, as Cardano. And then I've also selected my target chain as Ergo. Of course, right now, those are the only two networks. Next, I can select which tokens within my wallet I want to go ahead and actually move over. Again, we have the RSN, which is the wrapped version of the Rosen token. We've got RS Sigma USD, which is the wrapped version of that stable coin on Ergo, as well as RS Sig RSV. And then we've got RS ERG, which is the wrapped version of Ergo. Now, if I were to swap this the other way, you would have the wrapped version of ADA instead of the traditional ADA token. Again, depending on which chain you're going from into, you're going to receive a wrapped version of the asset that you're moving over. So in this event, let's say I just want to go ahead and move over 100 ADA within my wallet. So I'm going to select ADA, and then I'm going to enter the amount here. Now, looking at the right-hand side, I can see the wallet that I've connected. I can see my transaction fee. Again, this is the traditional Cardano transaction fee, followed by the actual bridge fee, which right now stands at 16 ADA. Once you add both of those, you get the total fee amount, which is listed here, which is 16.75 ADA. So when I send over 100 ADA, I'll be receiving 83 wrapped ADA, right, on the Ergo network. Now, to be fully transparent, I do think that the bridge fee is a little bit more than I would traditionally expect. I think anywhere between 3 to 4 ADA would be manageable, but somewhere around, this is what, 15% of the total amount that I'm sending, I will say does appear to be relatively high. So one thing that I would personally love to see moving forward would be reduced bridging fees. Of course, we can't change the transaction fee. That's just how Cardano works. But that bridge fee, if it could be reduced, would definitely be beneficial. Of course, keep in mind that the watchers in the guard set are rewarded based off of the bridge fee as well. So portions of this are actually going to the parties that are able to make this happen in a safe and secure manner. Now, the last thing I need to do is go ahead and provide the address in which I want to receive these assets on the Ergo network. I don't have an Ergo wallet right now, but if I did, this is exactly where I would go ahead and type that in. Once you're done, you can click on submit. Of course, that address field is empty. It'll ask for me to then sign my Cardano transaction. And then once I sign, I'll see those assets taken away from my Cardano wallet. And then I'll actually be able to receive that 83 RS ADA on the Ergo network. So that's just a brief tutorial as to how the actual bridge works. And then if we jump into some of the recent events, we can see that since the actual launch early this morning, we have over 169 different transfers taking place. So as you guys can see here on the left-hand side, we've got the event ID. We've got the lock transaction ID. We have the chain or the direction in which the bridging is going. So whether it's going from Cardano to Ergo or from Ergo to Cardano. We've got the block height. We've got the addresses involved, the token, the amount, the bridge fee, the network fee, and the actual time. So last but not least, we have the transaction status, whether it's processing or complete. looks like right now a lot of these are processing. Hopefully we can actually see these completed over the next couple minutes, if not hours. So interesting to see that people are already jumping onto the platform, not wasting any time and taking full advantage of the platform. To be fully fair, right now, the bridge and events section are currently available. The team will be rolling out the assets, support, and dashboard in the near future. Again, this is just the very first look here, right, in the Rosen Light bridge, which is now gone live. Now, that is not all. I do want to quickly touch on 2 additional platforms that have actually gone ahead and added support for wrapped Rosen assets coming into Cardano. And so the first is going to be DEX Hunter, which has now added the following tokens: RSERG, the wrapped version of the Ergo token, and then RSN, or the wrapped version of the Rosen Bridge token. So if I jump over to the platform, as you guys can see here, if I click on this and I just type in RSERG, I've got that, which again, I can swap my RSERG for ADA. And then if I want to go ahead and swap my RSN, I can also go ahead and do that as well. So if you guys have either of these tokens moved over into Cardano and you want to swap between them or back into ADA, you can quickly go ahead and do that utilizing DEX Hunter. Now, moving over to this next piece here, I do want to quickly highlight the fact that the Spectrum DEX, which is a Cardano and Ergo connected DEX, right, is now also adding support for trading Ergo into, or swapping Ergo into RS ADA. So they've got an RS ADA, which is the wrap version of ADA on Ergo, which can now be added to a liquidity pool, or is now managed via a liquidity pool, which can also be swapped out for Ergo. So the exact opposite of the services that I just reviewed there, coming in from DEX Hunter. Now, to be fully transparent as well, if you're utilizing the Cardano version of the Spectrum DEX, you can go ahead and actually swap ADA for RS, or the wrapped version of Ergo, and you can also swap ADA for the wrapped version of the Rosen Bridge token. So the Spectrum Finance platform is very well set to be a big benefit, to the Rosen Bridge, given the fact that they're already also tapping into the Cardano network as well as Ergo. So their DEX focuses again here on Ergo, and if you want to go ahead and trade based off of ADA, they've also got a version of that as well. I believe that will do it here for today's video. A little bit of a lengthy one, breaking down everything that the Rosen Bridge has to offer, talking about the guards, talking about the watchers, the funds, the cold storage, as well as exactly how the actual platform works. And then 2 of the biggest platforms right now providing asset support for wrapped assets coming in from Cardano, as well as wrapped assets coming in from Ergo. If you guys learned anything along the way as a part of today's video, I would really appreciate it if you guys could smash that thumbs up. It really does make a difference here. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, breaking down everything around Cardano, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions for me surrounding the Rosen Bridge or any other projects building on Cardano, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.